If you follow the news, you couldn't have missed it. Jaguar shot itself in the foot with its new advertisement, or more precisely, with its rebranding, the new visual identity of the Jaguar brand. For the year 2025 and the years to come. As soon as it went online, we saw a tornado of negative comments and an avalanche of mocking memes. Scathing articles and criticism from British politicians, including a clash with Elon Musk, who questioned if they were still selling cars. The controversial video, with over 2.5 million views at the time of recording, does not show a car. We'll decipher it together later. Despite Jaguar's communication team deleting many comments shortly after the campaign video was published, you can still find internet users' opinions under the video. Fire the marketing team responsible for this thing, my Jag. Just lost 90% of its value. If it wasn't on their official channel, I would have thought I was watching a parody. Owning a Jaguar is embarrassing now that the company is struggling financially. It appears that what is already becoming the year's worst marketing campaign has stirred up Jaguar fans and even shocked beyond the brand's typical audience. As a Jaguar enthusiast and owner, I was surprised by their recent controversial video, and for various reasons. And since I worked at Land Rover in the Jaguar Land Rover group a few years ago, I wanted to grasp the situation, so I immediately reached out to my friends there for their insights. In this video, I'll share several interesting things I learned. But first of all, to start, and to be sure that everyone is well aware of what happened, this 21st of November, we will meet again. The marketing masterpiece that sparked the explosion. Here's a 20-second look. The video begins with an elevator opening to reveal an empty space and a group of distinctively styled individuals. Like here, we have a jellyfish and we have some cliched words that appear on the screen. We have this gentleman who makes a big brushstroke and who is not very reassuring for that matter. I wouldn't trust him with my kids. Then there's the destroyer, which follows the logic of deconstruction. So, is it a gentleman or a lady? I couldn't tell you exactly, but this person, they have a particular outfit and they carry a mace to break something. The message is subtle but clear. They intend to break everything. It brings us back to this group of people who ultimately are not very reassuring. In current times, it's clear the representation is meant to promote inclusivity. Personally, I believe Jaguar's customers don't necessarily want that look. This is what the brand's marketing team came up with. An unexpected publication with a strange choreography, embarrassing video, and dystopian music. Basically, it's a spot in which no car appears and which does not make you want to be happy. Personally, I doubt the brand's fans or target customers aspire to this look. While this is just my opinion and not the primary focus of the video, there are considerations beyond the aesthetics and message of this advertisement. The video's lack of connection to Jaguar shocked and sparked controversy. Their new logo will be discussed later. What's striking is that in this 30-second ad, there are no Jaguar codes, no car, and only one brand reference. The slogan, "Copy Nothing," is derived from a quote by Jaguar's founder, Sir William Lyons, "A Jaguar should be a copy of nothing." Sir William Lyons began by producing sidecars and later cars in the early 20th century, marketed under the SS brand. For Swallow sidecars, which will be renamed Jaguar in 1945, for obvious reasons. From there, Jaguar distinguished itself by uniquely combining performance and luxury like no other manufacturer. With crazy models like the Jaguar XK120 and the XK150, cars with an incredible style which were perfect for both speed enthusiasts and luxury lovers. From the 50s, the brand began to shine in competition, especially at the 24 Hours of Le Mans. The superb Type C, derived from the XK120, was designed for performance with a stunning design. The racing triumphs and the 1961 debut of the Type E elevated this Jaguar to an automotive design icon. Many consider the Type E one of the most beautiful cars ever made, seducing with its distinctive proportions and graceful lines. Enzo Ferrari himself will qualify it as the most beautiful car in the world. Jaguar becomes a legend not only in the automotive world but also in 1960s pop culture. The Type E is featured in iconic ads that have gained a cult following. It graces Road Track's cover when released. More recently, it appeared in the Mad Men series set in the 1960s, where it was portrayed as the ultimate object of desire. But beyond that, one of the most emblematic figures of this era, associated with Jaguar, remains Steve McQueen, the American actor and globally known style icon, who owned many cars including a superb Jaguar XK SS. Steve McQueen, a known car enthusiast, reinforced the brand's image as a symbol of cool and rebellion. A manufacturer blending luxury, performance and character. Throughout the 70s and 80s, Jaguar remained the epitome of British luxury and refinement, with meticulous attention to detail and unparalleled quality. The quest for perfection comes at a cost, leading the brand to face production issues. The company struggled to maintain profits and adapt to evolving customer demands in a globalized market, making it uncompetitive. Ford, seeking to diversify and enter the luxury market, was solicited to receive financial support and benefit from their expertise. In 1989, we saw a $2 billion plus marriage that seemed perfect on paper. Ford invested in modernizing the Coventry brand and its models, but the outcomes did not consistently meet expectations. In 2008, facing economic difficulties, Ford decided to refocus on its core activities by selling Jaguar and Land Rover to Tata Motors. Ratan Tata, then chairman of the Indian giant Tata Group, seized this opportunity to acquire iconic brands and realize his dream as a car enthusiast. A new group is formed to unite the two Jaguar Land Rover brands. The global economic crisis had just struck, throwing the automotive industry into chaos. Jaguar needed new investments to modernize its models, production, and technology despite its history and aura. And that's what Tata did. Very quickly, new models like the XE or the F-Pace were launched to give the brand the sales volume it needed. A highlight of this period was the 2013 release of the F-Type, echoing the Type E. It reminded everyone that Jaguar was a sexy, dynamic and sporty brand capable of competing with the likes of Porsche. In 2017, the company had its best year ever. Since then, we have seen a brutal decline. The range is not being renewed, leaving the brand facing a problem. People still love Jaguar, but they buy something else. In 2021, the increasingly discreet manufacturer announced it would stop developing all its thermal models to become a brand. To mark its transition to 100% electric by 2025, Jaguar has decided to change its visual identity and promote the shift. Well, with the video we talked about earlier, on the new logo and the new typo, I've heard a lot of criticism. It's criticized for being too simple, for resembling a logo from the 90s, a tech company logo or an appliance brand logo, and for lacking automotive personality. To be honest, the logo and new typography don't shock me much. Sure, it's simpler and rounder than the previous one, but there's an interesting Art Deco inspiration that comes from it. During the 1930s Art Deco era, cars were luxury items reserved for the elite. Jaguar's upmarket move is yielding positive results, as evidenced by the new typography that is more refined and less aggressive than the previous one. The iconic Leaper, the historical feline depicted jumping in profile view, is reinterpreted and appears in negative in the images shared by the brand. But the most disturbing element is the disappearance of the historical logo. The head-on view of the Jaguar, which was featured on all Jags and is called the Growler. This emblem symbolized power, agility and sophistication, evoking a predator ready to pounce. This strengthened Jaguar's image and provided a visual identity aligned with its values of performance and prestige. Today, many brands embrace minimalism and blending to conquer global markets. This can cause a logo to lose its distinguishing character, which is somewhat the case with the end of the Growler, in favor of this new monogram, which is supposed to represent a J and an R, which rather resembles the logo of a luxury brand that would specialize in jewelry or leather goods. We'll discuss the presentation video strategy later, but it gives a poor impression, which is regrettable. We could have done much better to represent the Jaguar spirit on social networks. We are currently amidst the old money aesthetic trend among Gen Z and millennials, precisely the audience Jaguar aims to attract in the future. The old money trend is a lifestyle that values luxury without ostentation, tradition, and sobriety, by relying on traditional values such as education, refinement, and elegance, in contrast to the more flamboyant wealth of the nouveau riche style. The marketing executives or agency behind Jaguar's new positioning believed it aligned with Generation Z's desired image. A significant portion of Gen Z values the history, continuity, and prestige that Jaguar has long possessed. Just look at the collaboration that Porsche maintains with the clothing brand Aimé Leon. To regret that Jag did not go into this niche. They are at the top of the current trend, and we are in this universe. The beautiful materials, subdued atmosphere, heritage, and transmission are all present. Jaguar could have seized the opportunity to reinterpret its striking historical ads, delving into its past, to convey the message of its strong comeback. A return to what made it unique, once again the heritage, the sportiness, and its very British chic. But they clearly decided on a different direction, and I immediately wanted to know who was responsible for it. So I talked a lot with one of my very good friends who still works in the group. Mr. K immediately told me that the designers were not involved and it was a job of Jerry McGovern, the head of design, creative director and member of the executive committee of Jaguar Land Rover and the brand team. The brand team, led by Jaguar Land Rover Chief Executive Officer Adrian Mardell, is responsible for managing the company's brand image. The Chief Executive Officer wrote an internal memo sent to all company employees to defend the new brand image. Despite criticisms after the publication, he stands by his choice, finds the criticisms inspiring, and defends those who have been personally attacked or insulted. And he is absolutely right to do so. But above all, he writes that it's not the work of one person, but of a team. And that it's not made to please everyone, but rather to convey a strong message. Also, we need to add some information about Adrian Mardell. He's a former Jaguar Land Rover financial director, promoted to Chief Executive Officer. Already that I have judged personally if you think it's a good strategic choice for the chief executive officer to be a pure financier. One of the most prominent things that comes up when searching his name is his strong involvement in the lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender and queer plus community. And who has indeed received an award for this in Great Britain in 2024, and it's very highlighted, so there, same. This is information that I'm giving you and I'll let you form your own opinion. Maybe it has no connection, but that's what comes up on Google. And in any case, what is certain is that the chief executive officer of the group personally defends this new image. In my view, they've adopted a shock strategy, doing as they please, provoking with no regard for potential shock or offense. My friend Mr. K tells me that indeed, he who knows the next cars that will go into production, they have a design that will not fail to spark debate. The upcoming car designs are controversial enough to potentially damage the company's image and history. Taking risks may be unwise. For him, it's as if we're just provoking people for free on the street. And at the same time, if we love Jaguar and we love their car and their code, we have to face the facts. In today's market state and in their situation, they have no choice but to take a big risk and be completely divisive. If not addressed, they will remain invisible and slowly vanish. Here's an interesting statistic to demonstrate this point. In 2023, Alpine, a French company, sold 2,700 cars with a single model. Jaguar only registered 1,000 cars across 6 models in the country over a year, which is negligible. And in fact, they are dying in total indifference since they are selling nothing and their numbers are plummeting. They are compelled to agitate the situation. Again, we can critique their methods. Many people are adopting a form of wokeness in their new desired image, which is concerning to me. Notably, this strategy is often unsuccessful for large companies. The slogan, "Go woke, go broke," suggests that businesses which politicize their actions will ultimately fail, as seen in numerous examples worldwide. Harley-Davidson recently faced this situation and ultimately abandoned its quota initiatives. For this or that type of people who were against the meritocracy dear to America, the Budweiser brand, which fell and even got boycotted after a woke ad. Victoria's Secret faced a significant stock market decline after choosing to feature new models to promote inclusion, and who ultimately backtracked to regain business. The video's subject isn't whether that's good or not. I'm not getting into the societal debate here. I'd rather let you share your opinion on the matter in the comments. But now that the whole world has remembered that Jaguar exists, the best thing they can do to overcome criticism is to dazzle us with what really matters, the cars. According to my friend Mr. K, the upcoming cars are controversial, unlike anything seen before, and that we can count on very cool proportions. The brand's latest concept car and a test mule photo have already begun to showcase the changes we're about to discuss. For an upcoming well-tested and camouflaged production car that appears to have a small glass area and a lengthy hood. 2 key design assets, as mentioned in a recent video of mine. In terms of clientele and positioning, Jaguar wants to go after something else. No more affordable sedans for salespeople like the XE, and no more desperate search for sales volume. The brand is repositioning itself in the true luxury segment alongside Bentley and Rolls-Royce, with a quality that will set them apart from the competition and prices that will consistently exceed 100,000 euros. The explicitly stated objective is to part ways with 85% of its top customers, to focus on the top 15% of customers who have the most means and align with the segment the company believes will yield better margins and more stable sales. The first example of this desire for seismic change and indicator of what we can expect in our streets in the coming months and years. This is the very first concept of this new era of Jaguar that has just been unveiled this December 2nd at the Miami Art Week. A revolutionary Jaguar concept car that shatters traditional design norms. The big feline eyes and large grille are replaced by a very horizontal look. Instead of a grille, a flat surface with slight embossing symbolizes the transition to electric. In terms of proportions, even if it's a concept, it must be said that it works quite well. And we can hope to find in series this super long wheelbase, the long hood and the small cabin. Clearly, we are dealing with a minimal design and much less expressive than the recent models of the brand. But the idea is indeed to make a 180-degree turn in terms of style. Jaguar is set to bid farewell to aggression, transitioning to a more refined style that conveys quiet strength. Just like Rolls-Royce's highly status-oriented, yet never extravagant cars. As with many radical ideas, it will likely take time for the public to adjust to this new identity. But on this concept, we find a simple recipe: controlled proportions, a smooth design, and detailed graphic elements. It's the same turn Land Rover took years ago, which is evident in the latest generation of Range Rovers. It works, unsurprisingly, as both brands are in the same group and supervised by Jerry McGovern. There is good hope that Jaguar will be reborn as a brand that regains its uniqueness. By having a presence and elegance that would honor its past? Well, looking at this new style, I'm sure you have an opinion, so tell me what you think in the comments. I'm really curious to hear your opinion on Jaguar's revival and this concept. So write all that in the comments and I will take, as usual, great pleasure in reading them. Thanks for watching and keeping the passion alive. See you next time. Ciao.